There are moments in your life that don't look important when they're happening. They don't feel historic. They don't feel permanent. They don't even feel like memories yet. They just feel like life. A phone call, a ride home, dinner at the table, somebody sitting in their favorite chair, a child asking you to pick them up, a friend calling just to talk, a parent saying something you've heard them say 100 times. And because it feels normal, you don't hold on to it. You don't study it. You don't memorize the sound of the room. You don't think to yourself, I need to remember this. Because you think there will be another one, another conversation, another visit, another holiday, another chance, another Tuesday, until there isn't. Welcome back to Legacy Lines Podcast. I'm your host, Jay. And I've been thinking a lot about last times. Not the ones we know are coming. Those are very different. Sometimes you get a goodbye. Sometimes you know somebody's leaving. Sometimes you know the job is ending. You know the house is being sold. You know your child is moving away. You know the relationship is finished. And even when those endings hurt, at least you know you're still standing inside of one. Some of the hardest endings in life are the ones you didn't recognize. The ones you only discovered later. You didn't know it was the last time. You didn't know that was going to be the last time you heard their voice. The last time they walked through your door. The last time you sat beside them. The last time you had the opportunity to ask the question you kept putting off. The last time you would see your children at that age. The last time that group of friends would all be together. The last time you would pull into that driveway and still call that place home. And maybe that's one of the hardest things about being human. We usually don't recognize the value of a moment until the moment is no longer available to us. I think back to things in my own life, and there are moments I wish I had known. Not because I necessarily would have changed everything, but because I would have been more present. I would have looked a little longer, listened a little closer, maybe stayed a little later, maybe asked another question, maybe let the silence last without rushing to fill it. Because when you know something is in and you behave differently, but when you think it's just another day, you live like there's an unlimited supply of them. And there isn't. I remember something about my mother that still sits with me. Near the end, I had been there. I was there. I spent time with her. And when it was time for me to leave, all I could think about is the time she asked me for 5 more minutes. And I gave her those 5 minutes. Then eventually, I left. At that time, I didn't know. I didn't know those minutes were sitting so close to the end, and that would be the actual last time I heard my mom's voice. I didn't know there would come a day when I would replay that moment and wonder whether 5 minutes was actually what she was asking for. Maybe she wanted 5 minutes. Maybe she wanted 50. Maybe she just didn't want me to leave yet. I don't know. And that's the difficult part. Sometimes grief hands you questions that have no answer. And if you're not careful, you can take what you know now and use it to punish the person you were then. I find myself saying things like, I should have known, I should have stayed, I should have called, I should have said something, I should have done more. But the truth is, I was living with the information I had, not the information I have now. That matters. It really does, because hindsight has a way of making the past look obvious. And it wasn't. You didn't know. Just like me. And maybe you have a moment like that too. Maybe there's somebody you wish you had hugged differently. Maybe the last conversation wasn't a good one. Maybe you were distracted. Maybe you were tired. Maybe you were angry. Maybe you thought you had tomorrow. And now tomorrow has become the thing you wish you could get back. But I don't think the lesson is that we're supposed to walk through life terrified that every moment might be the last. That's not living either. You can't look at every dinner and wonder whether it's the final one. You can't hug everybody like they're about to disappear. You can't spend your entire life bracing for loss. That would definitely turn gratitude into fear. And I don't think that's what we're supposed to take from this. I think the lesson here is presence. Because some of the moments we missed the most weren't extraordinary. They were ordinary. That's what surprises you. You don't always miss the vacation. Sometimes you miss the person sitting across from you eating cereal. You don't miss the big speech. You miss their laugh from the other room. You don't miss some perfectly staged photograph. You miss seeing their shoes beside the door, or them looking at you and just smiling. You miss the things that used to annoy you, the television being too loud, the same story being told again, the Bible being read from front to finish, the phone call that came when you were busy, the questions you already answered 3 or 4 times. But because when somebody's gone, even their interruptions can become precious. And it isn't only death. Sometimes the last time happened while everybody is still alive. That friendship you thought you had that would last forever. There was a last conversation. You just didn't know it. That relationship. Yeah, there was a last good day before everything changed. That job you complained about. There was a final morning when you walked through those doors as an employee. The neighborhood. One day you drove away and eventually stopped coming back. Even childhood works this way. Parents think about this all the time. There was the last time your child crawled into your lap. The last time you carried them from the car because they fell asleep. The last time they asked you to tie their shoes. The last time they reached for your hand crossing the street and nobody told you. Nobody told you at all. There wasn't a ceremony. There wasn't a little sign that said, this is the final moment. This is the final moment. They just grew up. And that's beautiful. But it can hurt too. Because growth creates endings of its own. We spend so much time trying to get to those next steps, next stages, that sometimes we don't realize we're leaving something behind. We want the baby to sleep through the night. We want the toddler to become independent. We want the teenager to mature. We want graduation. We want them to move forward. Then one day the house gets quieter and you find yourself missing the noise they used to make that you complained about. That's life. It keeps moving. Whether we're ready or not, life keeps moving. And maybe that's why people struggle so hard with change, because change doesn't only introduce something new, it confirms that something else is gone. Sometimes you aren't grieving what happened, you're grieving what will never happen again. And that distinction matters. Because there are experiences that you can't recreate. You can go back to the same restaurant, but not with the same exact people at the same exact time in your lives. You can drive down that old street, but you can't drive back into the version of yourself who lived there. Go ahead, look at that photograph. You can't step inside of it at all. And maybe that's why photographs can hurt. They literally prove something existed, and at the same time, they prove it doesn't exist like that anymore. But here's where I think we can get stuck. We can become so obsessed with what we didn't know then that we miss what we do know now. And what we know now is this: there are still people here. There are still conversations available. There are still questions you can ask. There are still apologies you can make, and there are still people you can tell the truth to. There are still pictures you can take, trips you can make, doors you can walk through, hands you can hold. There is still life happening all around you right now. And someday, right now is going to be back then. That one actually gets me. Right now is going to be back then. Someday you're going to look at a picture from this year and realize how young everybody looked. You're going to hear a song and remember this house, this job, this relationship, this version of yourself. And maybe you'll think, I didn't realize how much I was going to miss that. So maybe the goal isn't to identify the last time. Maybe we can't. Maybe we're not supposed to. Maybe the goal is to stop sleepwalking through the times we still have, man. Put the phone down sometimes. Look somebody in the eyes. Ask the question. Stay at the table. Take the picture, even if everybody complains. So what? Tell people what they mean to you while they can still hear it. Not because they're dying, but because they're living. There's a difference. And maybe you need to hear this too. If your last time with somebody wasn't perfect, that doesn't erase every time that came before it, does it? Your relationship is not defined by one final conversation, one argument, one rushed goodbye, one day when you were distracted. Love is bigger than its final scene. I promise you that. And I really need somebody to hear that. Because sometimes we take the last moment and let it rewrite the entire story. We forget the birthdays. We forget the laughter, the arguments you survived, the inside jokes, the phone calls, the ordinary mornings, the meals, the sacrifices, the years. And we reduce an entire relationship to, I wish the last time had have been different. It could have been, maybe. Maybe you would have changed it if you could. But that moment was one page. It wasn't the whole book. You loved them before that moment. You knew you before that moment. There was history before the ending. And there's something freeing about allowing the whole relationship to speak instead of forcing the final moment to carry all of it. Maybe that's the part of what legacy is. The fact that something can end without disappearing. People leave things in us. Phrases, habits, lessons, wounds sometimes, strength too. You hear yourself saying something and realize, that sounded just like my dad. You cook something the way your mom cooked it. You tell a story the way your friend used to tell it. You laugh, and for a half a second, you hear somebody who isn't even here anymore. And there they are. Not physically, but present. That's what I mean when I say every life becomes someone else's legacy. We leave pieces of ourselves everywhere. People and rooms and stories, in the way somebody loves because we showed them love, in the way somebody parents because we taught them something, in the way somebody survived something because they watched us survive it first. And because of that, maybe the last time isn't always as final as it feels. The moment ended, but what it created might still be here. So if you're carrying regret about a last time, I hope you give yourself some grace. You were there, you lived it. You loved what you knew. And if you're lucky enough to still have somebody you keep assuming you'll see tomorrow, don't panic. Don't become afraid. Just notice them. Notice the laugh. Notice the way they walk into the room. Notice the way your child says your name right now. Notice your friends, your partner, your family, yourself. Because one of the strangest truths about life is this: we are constantly living moments that will someday become memories. And we usually have no idea which ones we're going to miss the most. So be there. It ain't got to be perfect. Just be there. And maybe tonight, before you move on to whatever's next, call somebody. Sit beside somebody. Ask one more question. Give one more hug. Stay 5 more minutes if you can. Not because you know it's the last time, but because you don't. If this episode brought somebody to mind, send it to them. Maybe there's somebody who needs the reminder. Maybe there's somebody you haven't talked to in a while, or maybe there's somebody sitting right beside you who deserves a little more of your attention than you've been giving them. And if Legacy Lines has become a place where you recognize pieces of your own story, follow the show, share the episode, and come back next week. Because we're not just talking about where we've been anymore. We're paying attention to who we're becoming while we still have the time to become them, right? So, take care of yourself and and take care of each other, because every life becomes someone else's legacy.